who's here today, as well as staff and representatives from Armatec. So this meeting is being held for you. It's not a requirement. It's because we know that there's concern and interest in this project, and we want to be able to give you the information, all the information that we have for you to be able to understand this project a little bit better. The first thing I'd like to do is introduce the principal of the company, Armatec Survivability, Mr. Carl Pfister, and he's going to say just a few words.
Thank you, Heather. Welcome everybody for today's meeting. I see a great turnout, lots of interest, lots of questions. We try today to, as best as we can, answer most of them and like to be informative what we want to do. So thanks again for coming out. A little bit maybe to myself, who I am and who is Armatec. Little story about it. On my accent you probably hear, originally born in Germany, come to Canada about 20 years ago. About 17 years ago, I started in a basement, was unemployed and had to feed a family. From there, I looked around what is to do, and that was a time when the Canadian forces deployed to Kosovo and Bosnia, and they had a struggle with their equipment, and the problem was that they were exposed to the mine protection, was to the mine threat in Bosnia, and my background was aeronautical engineering out of aerospace, so we used that idea to apply to land vehicles to save the lives of the soldiers. And what is the closest to the human bodies, besides the underwear, is the seat we sit on. And so we started to develop protective seating systems which isolates the body from the shock waves of a mine blast. And that is how the thing started in a subdivision, in the basement of a house, one-man show, with the help of my wife, friends. It grew, and it started in 1997. There is not a big corporation out there or somewhere behind, Wall Street or anything like that. We had to make our living on our own work with our own hands. I'm a tool and die maker, and that is how we started to make the first product, and grew and grew and grew. So in 2005 we got recognized by the US, and they basically bought a lot of significant survivability equipment for the US Marine Corps, and that put us on the map and allowed us then in 2010 to build a larger facility for producing these elements, survivability elements, in Dorchester, that is close to London, Ontario. So that is how the thing developed. We grew out of our own juices, out of our own work. We right now employ about 200 people in Dorchester. Our portfolio of work are survivability products. What is that? The easiest thing to relate to is like this bulletproof vest of a policeman, ballistic seats that are fragment protection for seating system, shock attenuation for seat system. So if these guys ride in their vehicles, they get protected with the seating system. But the problem was the whole vehicle was falling apart. So we had to go further reinforce the vehicles. So we put armament and reinforcement plates on these vehicles to keep them together and keep the guys alive. So that is what we basically did for the last now 17 years since Armatec is in business. And what that entails is testing. So when we develop these things have never been done before. There is no school book to read about how it should be done. So that's new technology which didn't exist before. And this technology is very new, so new that, for example, it's very rare even in the US. Therefore, our export is extremely high. So we have right now between 90 and 95% export. And that creates new employment in Canada, which is very, very difficult right now. And that's based on the quality of our products, what we do. with these products, the intent is to save the lives of our men and women which have to go out there and get in harm's way. And to do that, we have to do baseline research. What is the threat level? How does it work? How do we get it to engineering numbers? And how can we design products to save these lives? So that is what we are about and what we are doing. And there are two areas which get tested. One is ballistic testing, that is basically to accelerate a projectile and stop it again. And the other one is to do blast testing, where you basically set off a blast due to the pressure wave to a close by vehicle, and we're talking here a distance of about 2-3 feet. And measures that impact on the vehicle and the occupant. So we have Willie sitting inside the vehicle. He's a test dummy like you see in the television of the car crash dummies, very similar with a lot of wires on it. And he will tell us if he is happy inside or not. And that is a typical test, what we're looking for to do here. And that will come out further in the presentation. We have a team here from Armatec, which hopefully can answer most of your questions. We understand there is a lot of new things, and there was a lot of discussion on the internet. So what we try to do today, give you the facts, the numbers, because there was talk about, let's say, nuclear radiation and fallout. None of that is there. But to see what we do, that is why we are here today, and that is what we want to show you. We also have some guests, retired Major Bruce Monaghan, and he was very instrumental in protecting our soldiers in Afghanistan, and we can talk a little bit about that. What's about, why we do that, and how that is done by the government. Whatever we do, we are basically have to follow exactly the same as the government rules and don't have the legacy of the government, so we have to do it even more stringent. So I don't want to hold up the show any more and give it back to Heather to introduce. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Yes, I'm going to introduce Bruce Monaghan, who, as Carl said, a retired major with the Canadian Armed Forces. He's just going to give you a quick idea of what this means to the Armed Forces, and then after that, we'll quickly go through our presentation, because I know the main thing that you want to do is ask questions. We understand that, but we felt it was important for you to get the information generally to everyone, so everyone can hear the same thing, and then we'll proceed. So Bruce, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks a lot. I'm going to keep this really short. I was asked by Armatec. They're not paying me, so let's declare that right up front. I retired last year after 30 years in the military. And what I did for total involvement in Afghanistan was I reviewed each and every soldier's death over there. So I came to know companies like Armatec. So today, if you have questions, I'll answer as the customer, I guess. Customer of this type of facility. So to me it's near and dear to my heart. So if you have questions about why we do the testing, the purpose of the testing, I did in 12 years of this testing and reviewing of soldiers' death. I tested at pretty much every facility similar to this and other facilities around the world. So if you have any questions, I'll answer them honestly.
First, can you stand and talk closer?
Oh, sorry. Better? These folks heard me. Spent 12 years basically reviewing all of our soldiers' death in Afghanistan, for lack of a better word, through death, ballistic, like being shot, being blown up through IEDs, and trying to assess how better to protect our vehicles. And one of the probably greatest stumbling blocks that I came across in all that time was the lack of test facilities. It would take us sometimes 2 years to queue up in the States to do a test. We had the equipment ready to go, but we'd line up. but they were involved in this place called Iraq. So you could wait 2 years and then get bumped. So sometimes we'd have a solution to protect soldiers, and it would be delayed 2-3 years from testing, just because we were country cousins up north, and because we didn't have facilities like this. So again, if you have questions, I'll address them about the type of tests. I got to witness all the tests. I got to blow up a whole bunch of very expensive things, Armatec stuff, almost every defense contractor in Canada and US. I blew their stuff up and destroyed it. So I can speak to that if you're curious and answer any other questions you might have. Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce. Just to clarify, we are going to go forward with our presentation. At the end of our presentation, we are going to ask everybody to stand. We're going to push the chairs out of the way. I'll ask for your help on that. And then we're going to answer questions in a forum at the back where you can ask individual questions to the people who are best able to answer it. We are not going to do it in a seating. Those are the rules. That's the way it is. This actually is why we're going to do that. Okay?
We all need to hear the
It is for you, and if you have a question, you are more than welcome to ask it, and if someone else has asked it already, the people answering it will answer it again. So don't worry about it.
The concern is that they may not hear the answer. So if they can hear the answer, same as a speaker here, so long as the speaker system is available, that's what they want.
I have explained the rules, that's how we're going to handle it.
You're going to ask questions? With all due respect, everybody in this room absolutely believes in what Armatec does to protect our soldiers. That this testing needs to happen.
But not here.
But what our concern is, as a group, is obviously the location. So please, continue with the testing. Double it, triple it, quadruple it. Anything to protect our soldiers and the soldiers of our allies around the world. We love that idea. So let's for the interest of time, and everybody that's associated here, the presentation of what Armatec does. We've been on the website, we've looked at it, we agree with it, we love it, keep doing it. What we need to address is the residents and the cottagers' concerns on the location. So please dispense with the
purpose of our presentation is to explain some things that have been misrepresented. There's a lot of information out there that is not accurate. And we want to provide everyone, first of all, I understand your position, sir. You can sit down.
I have finished it.
It's not the purpose of people here.
I am... Give us 5 minutes. Or we can just go on with the way I want to handle it.